Welcome to our needle felting class on how to create this beautiful felted robin. Its legs are made using a brown pipe cleaner. I bent it to create 3 toes, and you can see that I'm twisting and bunching, and then I'll leave a little bit of it so I can put it in the roving. Here I go. I'm shaping the body of the robin using a white wool roving, and I had a little bit of a problem here. I used really short fibers because I was using what I had left over, which is okay to make the body, but it made it harder to shape it into a ball. So I poked a little with my felting needle, and then I had to keep reshaping it into a ball. You can see that here. I categorize the firmness of a felted project in 3 categories. There's lightly felted, and to me this is where a shape has come together. The fibers are tangled together. However, you can still change its shape really, really easy. And then and when you squish it, you can pretty much, your fingers come together. Then there's medium felted. To me, this is my favorite because the fibers have come together. There's spring as you push on it, and it's not as fluffy. I feel like fibers come together and blend a lot better. And then there's firmly felted. You can feel this. There's a lot of spring back even when you're poking it with your needle. So here we go, on to the head. I'm taking the wool roving and making it into that ball shape. I didn't want to jab my finger, so I put a spare needle in the roving to hold it while I start getting those fibers into a ball shape. Now there's a little caveat. I'm felting everything to the medium firmness except for one side of the ball. I'll keep it pretty loose because I want to be able to attach it to the body, and I found it easier when the fibers are pretty loose to blend both shapes together. I keep repositioning that ball of roving because I want it pretty evenly felted, and I found that I'll rotate it a little bit here and there and it'll give a better smooth finish as well as be more evenly felted. And feel free to squish it with your hand to kind of get it in the shape that you want and keep going. I've set the head onto the body shape, and I felt at all different angles, through the head, on the side, right where it comes together, through the white. I think this is a better way to attach it, and you can always go back, and the head, you can tell it's a little lopsided, so I'm just gonna poke a little bit more to get it into a better robin's head, make it more evenly felted. And I'm poking all the way through the shape, so the fibers are pushed together. I'm going to put on the wing here, but while I'm getting that in place, you can see that I've felted the breast of the robin and also have stuck in the feet. I'm sorry I didn't get that on camera, but I just took the feet and squished them up in there. You'll notice that the firmness of your wool felting is really important on this. If you've over felted it, it'll be really hard to put them in. But once you get them in, go ahead and put the breast of the robin on with a layer. And with the wings, I'm doing that same thing. I'm shaping them into a wing shape, and I've tried to keep the fibers kind of long. It gives a little bit of a direction to your wings, and I'm just felting. I didn't want the tail as long, so I pulled off some, but just felting so the fibers come together, and keep moving your project. Not all felting needles are created the same. They come in different shapes and sizes. I love the needle that I'm using here. I believe it's a 40 gauge needle, so it's a little bit smaller. The smaller the needle, the easier it is for fine details. However, the other trick that I found is if you don't want things as firmly felted, you don't poke your needle all the way through up to where you hold it. I'm not poking all the way through with this. The angle is also important. I poke the finish work at about a 45-degree angle. I like this because it takes the fibers and instead of inserting them straight down, it gives more of a smooth finish. But just try it out. I just continued to felt this until I really liked the shape. And the more I felt, the firmer the roving comes together. And right here, you'll be able to see me squish it. You'll see that it was pretty soft. And I wanted a little bit more bulk to the robin, so I go ahead and add, and you can see it's blending beautifully. On to the beak. In order to make this, did the same thing. I form it into a loose shape and then go ahead and poke it and move it around. I got too much, so I pulled it off, and just keep going until you have the right shape. I put the beak on, and next I moved on to the eyes. I took a titch of that gray wing roving and put it on the robin in the shape of a circle, and I lightly felted it in. And then I added on the black for the eye. I didn't want to make the head misshapen, so I didn't poke my needle all the way through. And as I'm doing the finishing touches, if you wanted to firmly felt the robin, this is the best stage to do it at. Firm up everything if you wanted to, or you can keep it at that medium felted firmness, but there you have it.